I am applying for staff on Impact summer camps because, one, I love camp. I worked as a camp counselor last summer and love leading camp. That was an awesome experience to get to be on that side of things. Just be crazy all the time. I love camp. And I love being a camper. I went to Machindo my whole life and couldn't wait until that week of the summer. So camp is a big part of my heart. Second of all, I love kids. I'm studying to be a teacher. I've been involved with kids my whole life. I think they're the most hilarious people in the whole world, so I just love hanging out with them and learning from them and being around them. Third, I'm applying because I love this center. I was an LCS grad, went to LCS from pre-K through my senior year, and I'm from Blissfield, Michigan, so I've been around the center, I've worked in the center as a lifeguard, and I've seen the growth from all the programs and facilities that I've developed, and I've loved being a part of it and watching it. I love the opportunities that Impact gives kids. It's not just the same day-to-day summer camp, but I love that you guys go out and you go on field trips, and you have different interests and specific things for the kids to do. I love that about Impact, and I want to be a part of that. Alright, well, there's the obvious ones of I would love to fly and I would love to be invisible. But if I had to choose one superpower, it's a tie between having endless energy and being a super chef, because I'm not a very good cook right now, but I love food. My best experience, there's a lot of them that come to mind just because I've had a lot of experience with kids. And I would say all of them have been positive. But some of my best memories, one comes from last summer when I was a counselor at Beulah Beach. I got to lead girls from kindergarten to 5th grade in learning a dance that I choreographed to the song Gold by Britt Nicole. So we worked all week on putting together this choreography and working on their strengths and, figuring out who was good at what. And at the end of the week, we presented it to all of our campers and staff. And that was just a really, really awesome experience, to pour so much into something that you have no idea how it's going to turn out. And then I was so proud of my girls for the way that they just got up there and were excited and gave it everything they had. So that was really fun because I'm passionate about dance too. So to be able to do that with the kids was really fun. When it comes to worst experiences, there's a lot of memories that I have that maybe were difficult when I learned what not to do, or when I learned how to teach a child something, or how to work with a child who's being defiant. I would say that I've only had one experience that I would consider the worst, and that would be my sophomore practicum here at the university. We have a nature reserve building where we invite groups of students from local schools to come and go on nature walks, and we cover some standards like rocks and minerals and things like that for the teachers. We put together workshops for the kids, and some of those were very, very frustrating because either we didn't have the kids we were supposed to, we had more than we were supposed to have in a teeny tiny little building, and you couldn't even hear yourself talk, let alone expect the kids to be able to hear you. Sometimes we were not given the materials that we needed to complete the project that we were supposed to do. And so that was frustrating. I think that there's a lot of things about me that do make me a good fit for this job. The first being my knowledge of children. I've been studying children and how they learn and how to interact with them, understand them, and teach them for the past 3 years of my life, as well as I've had experiences in those situations since I was in high school. Second of all would be my experience. Like I said, as a lifeguard, a swim instructor, a classroom assistant, a church helper in the nursery, and a camp counselor. So those are just some of the ways that I've experienced working with children. But this position is not something that's going to be brand new for me in the sense that I've worked with children a lot. Next, I think I'm a great fit because of my love and energy for camp. I love being active. I love being with kids. I like the fact that camp gives you an excuse and okay to be crazy and wild and weird, and it's encouraged. I love that. I can just have fun with these kids. Next, I think that I have some personality qualities that make me a great fit for this team. First of all, I'm personable. I've had a lot of experience in other jobs as well as being a student and a resident assistant that has taught me how to be personable and really get to know people and respect them and their ideas and their differences. Second of all, I would consider myself a leader. I've held leadership positions since junior high and am continuing that in college, here being on Student Senate. And I think that's a good asset as a camp counselor as well, when you have to make decisions and take charge sometimes. I'm also an organized person. I like to make sure that I'm there at a place when I'm supposed to be. I'm early. I get the job done, whatever I'm required to do. I want to make sure that it's not only finished, but finished well. Another important reason why I'm a great fit for this team is the fact that I have a passion for sharing Christ with children. I have a personal relationship with Christ myself and have developed that since I was a little child as well, learning about Him at LCS. And I believe that we as adults have a responsibility to share with children the history of Christianity, the stories in the Bible, what Jesus did for them, what the consequences of sin are and what that looks like, and the fact that overall He provides amazing, incredible grace that frees us from that sin and allows us to go out and change the world for Him. And to explain that each of these children have the power to do that and the talents to do that, and that they're all created uniquely. And that's something that I'm very, very passionate about. Lastly, I have some personal talents that I think would be beneficial to this job as well. I teach a dance fitness class, and I think that that's something that the kids would enjoy, but that also is part of my desire and my passion for fitness and a healthy lifestyle. I've had a lot of swimming experience, so that's something that I could bring to the table as well. Lastly, I am experienced in all of the arts, so dancing, singing, theater, some visual arts, speech, I have a strong passion for and some knowledge and skills in, so that's also something that I could bring to the table just as a new avenue for impact camps to explore. So that's just some reasons why I feel like I'm a good fit for this team. The first idea that I had, and this all depends on the age of the campers as well, and the abilities that they have. The first one would be to create an improv skit. So you could just give the campers all of these items, and you could either just say, all right, like show your creative talents, and some of the kids would give you some crazy stories, I'm sure. But you could also set the scene for them, such as, okay, you're on a farm and you are the farmer. Use these props to tell your story. There's lots of drama games that you can use. One of them called Freeze, where there's usually 2 or 3 people on the stage, and you start in any position or any scene that you tell them to or that they choose, and then when someone yells freeze, they tap the person that they want to replace and continue another story. So you could definitely incorporate all of these random items into any story you wish to create. Second idea I had for these items would be to create a game, and there's lots of games that you could create using these items. So the first one, pretty simple concept, would be like a hot potato cow game or whatever stuffed animal you had, just passing the hot potato. Pretty simple, but kids love it, they have fun. The second game may be more appropriate for some younger students, but that would be take an item, any of the items, while everyone else closes their eyes, and hide it behind your back, and then describe to us what you're holding without giving away what it is right away. And of course there would be some guidelines for that and specifications, so you don't just say it's black and white and moose, but if that happens, that's okay. They're having fun. So something along those lines for maybe some of the younger kids. A third game that you could do with this would be to create a scavenger hunt. This may take a little more 5 minutes of prep time, depending on if you're by yourself or with other counselors, but somehow you could hide these items around the room or outdoors, wherever you were. And you could give the campers clues as to where they were hidden. You could separate them into groups, you could let them go all together, and you could even make the items each worth a certain number of points. So hide one in a harder spot but make it worth more points. You could also let them make up stories as well with these items. So you could even do something where one person starts with an item and then maybe you pass a second item and you complete a whole story in a circle, that kind of thing. Another idea with all these crazy items is to see what they all have in common. See if you can find something, a quality that each of these objects shares. You could also see if you can separate them into 2 groups or 3 groups, or you could even see if you could separate them into 2 groups and then a group that shares both qualities of the 2 groups. So lots of sorting, classifying activities that you could do with any items, but these 2. So those are just a few ideas of how to incorporate some random items into maybe you're in a pinch for time and activities. So thanks for letting me send this interview in, and I hope to get to talk to you guys more.